And welcome back to Music Free Static. I hope you're having a fabulous day. And the content creation grind sucks. Okay, there are times it's awesome and it's wonderful and I love it. And then there are times like this last couple of weeks where it has been no end of frustration. And it kind of sucks when that happens. So I want to dive into what's going on. A little bit of background for my viewers, but for those of you who want a little peek behind the content creation curtain for somebody who barely qualifies as a content creator. No, I qualify as a creator. Whether or not I qualify as having a community or not, we'll discuss that. But I've been dealing with a lot of frustration, though, when it comes with streaming. Okay. And honestly, I don't know if it's been related somewhat to chat, lack of viewers, things like that, okay? Which, to be fair, just about every creator goes through stuff like this. It's like, your views are down, what's going on, right? And the second guessing and the questioning of, hey, am I still, makes sense for me to still be doing this? What's going on? You know, that type of thing. But what's been really getting to me is so many of the so-called chatters, people who are actually in my chat, are not actually in my chat. They're bots. Okay. They're spammers straight up. Okay. And honestly, the spam bots that just throw out the same sort of, hey, pay us and we'll get you fake views or whatever so you can hit, I see it a lot on Kick, so you can hit this level of verified or something on Kick or whatever it is, right? Those are annoying, but they're usually easy enough to set up a filter and just ban them as they post. Okay, not that big a deal. The ones that have been really bugging me are the so-called graphic designers. Okay, they'll chat just enough, right, to sucker you in that, hey, maybe this is a real person. And then they drop the, I design graphics for Twitch or something along those lines, right? Now, a lot of those are probably bots too, okay? I don't think many of them are actual people, though some of them might be. But the reason I think they're bots is they all show up with the same script. Say, hi, how's it going? Do you like this game? And that's when you know, I think that tends to be it's probably a bot, is they're not specific about what you're actually doing. So, do you like this game? What are your favorite games? They'll go on, hey, maybe have you looked at playing these other games, right? Nothing, it's all innocuous. Nothing that's like, hey, this is, starts throwing up red flags, okay? So, you have that conversation, theoretically, with a real person. And then they drop hey, so, by the way, I do graphics for, right? And at that point, I drop the ban hammer. Those particular bots have been frustrating for me lately because they're fake, okay? The problem I've got is, I have a very, very small community, all right? There's no getting around that, right? I rarely have more than, 3, 4, 5 people in chat, and typically it's only 1 or 2. Because small, right? So, hey, when someone shows up in chat, I want to chat with them. And then when they show up, it turns out, oh, they're just chatting so they can sell me something. It just gets frustrating because one of the reasons I love to stream is chat. I love that aspect of streaming. I love talking to the people in chat while I'm playing. I love sharing what I'm doing. I love the discussion back and forth that we've had about movies and music and all of that stuff, right? I love that. That's one of the reasons I love to stream. And so when I get these sorts of bots, it really gets to me. Okay. And then the other frustration, and part of the reason that ends up being as frustrating as it is I have like no growth, right? I mean, I've been streaming for almost 10 years and it's been almost nothing. Okay. Yeah. I mean, there's been a little, and I have some amazing people in my community, but I would like to have more people in the community. Again, that's part of the fun. And part of the problem, okay, and problem's probably the wrong word here, but I mean, the reality is I have an awesome community, and as I said, it's really small. And I am not so arrogant that I expect people to rearrange their lives to be here for my streams all the time. Okay. I'm glad people like to be here and watch my streams. All of you people are awesome and amazing. And, Sprite and Snoopers who are there more often than not, who are supporters of Music Free Gaming. You guys are great, right? But that's 2 people, right? Again, not to diminish how awesome those people are, but they have lives, right? And I've had some great people in the past. I had a great mod early on. He joined when he was younger. He was a teenager. He was in the hospital when he stumbled across my streams, and he was there all the time, and for years, and it was great. But obviously, he got better. He wasn't in the hospital anymore, which was the best news. But he grew up, right? He went to college. He's now an adult doing adult things, and hasn't been around for a long time, right? People move on, and and it's sad to see them go, but the reality is people have lives and interests change and things like that, right? And again, I'm not so arrogant to expect that people are always going to want to be in my stream. So I do want some growth to help bring some new people in. So when people decide, you know what, yeah, I'm done with Minecraft, or yeah, this old guy is old. He keeps telling the same jokes. I'm out, right? Whatever. Or maybe they just find somebody else cooler than me, which is not that hard, right? Who knows? Right? But you want a little bit of growth to help just bring some people in. And I love seeing when the people in chat are chatting with each other as well as me, or chatting within the Discord, things like that. That's what's great about having a community, right? I talked about community a while back on the podcast, but community is awesome. Just to have that little bit of support and just the people to talk to, and hey, by the way, you're not alone, and all of this stuff, right? Okay, now that's great, but I've had like no growth, and I've tried a bunch of different ways to do it, right? I've tried YouTube videos. Now it turns out YouTube Let's Plays, unless you're one of the big Minecrafters already, unless you're on Hermitcraft or probably a handful of others who fall into that same boat. You're one of the people who are on Empires, right? You're Mythical Sausage or Solidarity Gaming or Smager or something like that. Nobody's getting those types of views, at least in the Minecraft space, right? And the one thing I have put out that's actually gotten views has been tutorials, right? I put out tutorial videos, 3 or 4 of them about Create Mod. I did one about an automated potion brewer I built, which I talk about a lot because I'm so excited, because it's a redstone design that I built from the ground up, and it works, and it works well, and I like it. Okay, is it the best potion brewer out there? Probably not, but I thought it was cool, so sure. Okay, but the reality is that the tutorial views, one, they're boring. Okay, I don't like making them. They're just they're just boring to make, but they get views, right? So it's one of those things. Do I just be bored and make these things and move on? I don't know. Okay. But the other side of it is those type of tutorials don't lead to stream views. People are not, oh, I came here for your tutorial, now I'm going to watch your streams. That's not how that ends up working. Okay. I just, it doesn't translate into stream viewership. And streaming is why I'm doing this, right? I'm streaming because I like to stream. I like the chat. YouTube videos are fine, and I've done those for a while, right? And you can go back. I did a series of Let's Plays on Tinker77's server for a while when he was doing that, and Mandolin's Nerdy SMP, and heck, on my own series, right? I'm going solo, right? I started, I was streaming it, but then I would edit the streams down to 20-minute-ish videos. Yeah, those didn't get views either, right? It just wasn't worth the effort to make the videos. So why make the videos, right? Why spend 3, 4, 5 hours editing a video? And the reality is I was able to get that process down to something that was a little bit more manageable. But still, it's why spend those hours on a video that's not getting views and that's not bringing in subscribers on YouTube and is not bringing in viewers to the stream, right? Okay, so I tried that. I've been making shorts for and clips and stuff, right? Because I'll clip my stream and then I'll upload that stuff as shorts on YouTube, as videos on TikTok and Instagram. And that doesn't do much either. Okay. Now, part of the problem is, while some of the clips are just fun bits from the stream, they're not funny enough fast enough, right? They don't hit the same way as a lot of these other things, right? TikTok in particular is very much an instant hook or we're out. And honestly, the clips I'm posting are not an instant hook type of clip. A lot of them are weird improv moments from stream. It's a joke that sort of builds, or, just something along those lines. And it doesn't have that instant hit. And so, yep, people are out. Shorts tends to do the same thing. And Instagram as well, for that matter. And, and part of the problem, I think, on some of those platforms, I don't subtitle my clips anymore, because it didn't matter. I say it's a problem, then I say it doesn't matter. Let's talk about not understanding anything. But yeah, there's a reality there that I tried putting subtitles on my videos. There was a very, very marginal improvement. Very marginal. Barely made a difference. So I stopped doing it because it took hours to do. Okay? It's for a video that's 30 seconds long, I'm spending 10 minutes trying to do all the subtitles. It's just sucked. It's just not cool. So again, I stopped. And again, that effort did not go into stream views. Again, if they're not watching the shorts, they're not going to come over to my stream. This was the issue I always had when I was streaming on Twitch and making videos on YouTube. I didn't get a lot of cross-pollination, right? People are not changing platforms, right? even if they like the shorts I post, right? If they like the videos I'm posting on TikTok, great. Maybe they'll follow my channel on TikTok. Probably not, because that's not how TikTok works, right? Yes, you can follow channels on TikTok, but TikTok doesn't. A follow is not. It's not what I expect it to be, and maybe it's not what you expect it to be either. But a follow doesn't mean, hey, we're going to show you all their videos now. A follow means, great, we'll give you a slightly higher chance of seeing their videos. But it's a signal for the algorithm. It's not, great, now you get to see their content. And even if they do follow me on TikTok, very few of those people are jumping over onto YouTube to sub to my YouTube channel, or even over to Twitch and following me on Twitch. Okay. Now, I said I multi-stream, so I'm streaming on YouTube, I'm streaming on Twitch, I'm streaming on Kick. And, you know, I had some other viewers and stuff, and I think I had some for a while because I was doing modded Minecraft, and I stopped doing modded, and those people disappeared. Okay, awesome. Right, and that goes back to, hey, some people just, they come for one thing, and then I stop doing that one thing, right? That's fine, right? It's like those people who are started playing Fortnite, and then they shift to a different game, and a bunch of people left because they were just there for Fortnite. Okay, it happens, right? And while I'm still playing Minecraft, I'm back playing vanilla Minecraft versus modded Minecraft with Create Mod. So everyone who showed up to watch me play Create Mod and build this city of restaurants and automate all of this food production in Create Mod, they're not here for my vanilla Minecraft. Cool, that's fine. Again, I'm not so arrogant that I would expect people to be here for everything I do. I would like some people to be here, right? Okay, now let's level set for just a moment. I do not expect to suddenly become huge, right? I definitely have not I definitely have zero expectations that I am going to be like Kai Cenat level of viewership, where he just did a subathon or something where it's like 900,000-ish subs. I'm not at that level. I will never be at that level. It's just not going to happen. Okay. I don't have that type of channel. Okay. And so, yeah, I don't expect to be. I don't even expect to be at a level of the hermits like Impulse or Tango or Rendog or Skizzleman or any of those, right? They're awesome and amazing. And they're smaller in some ways. I mean, Gemini Tay has a good sized Twitch stream, and she doesn't even stream that regularly. But someone like Rendog or False Symmetry that have a little bit smaller Twitch channels, but still they're making a living. I don't expect to be there. Okay. What I would like to be at it is a level that, okay, I'm bringing in a little bit of money, just help pay for my hobby. Because it turns out tech gear is expensive, games are expensive, and, you know, hey, why not? But the other reality of it is it's a hobby, right? I don't do it for the money, right? I don't even do it in the Spaceball sense of, we're not just doing this for money. We're doing it for a bleep load of money. No, we're not. I'm not doing that. Okay. So the money's great. It helps. But what I like is talking to the chat. And I love that interaction. And that's really hard to do when there's nobody there. So let's get back to the frustration I've been dealing with the last little while. Okay. Again, dealing with the bot spam is fine. Okay. It happens. You know, again, automation takes care of a lot of that. But I've been dealing with a large number, at least for me, of those chatters that are that graphic designer spam that I was talking about earlier, right? And this has been causing problems for me, right? Because they come in, they chat for a few minutes, or chat, we may put that in air quotes, and then they drop the spam. Okay. Well, on stream very recently, I had a streamer come in, we were chatting, okay, not that big a deal. And then he asked to join my Minecraft server. Now I have it set in my rules, don't ask to join, okay? YouTube, which is where this conversation happened, does not show those sorts of chat rules, okay? Twitch and Kick, which is about as close to a Twitch clone as you can get, but both of them will show the chat rules, especially to people who have never been to the channel before. And so now you might just click through them, but at least it pops that up. So say, hey, here are the rules. All right. But after dealing with a bunch of this of, hey, here's the thing, do the thing, right? We're going to chat. Now let me drop my demand on you. It hit me weird. Okay. So he asked to join. And this was obviously a real person. This was not a spammer. But he has to join the game. I told him straight up no. I told him, just, hey, it's generally not cool to go ask to join a streamer server. Because for a number of reasons, and I laid them out, the most, at least in my case, because I don't just do random viewers join my stream. It's a safety issue, right? I have a family-friendly channel, for one thing. I need to maintain that. I don't know what this person is going to do when they join. Are they going to grief this base I've just been building, which is I've loved? Are they going to just start swearing? Are they going to do a bunch of stuff? Right? I can't trust those people. Okay. So there's that. And that's typical of most streamers, right? And if somebody were to come in, even if I were not necessarily family friendly, someone decides to join the stream and they start, or join the server, and they start dropping racial slurs in chat, as a streamer, I'm still responsible for that. Now, every platform understands somebody joins your chat, they drop, say they drop the N-word, okay? Okay, if I ban them, great. I have taken the action, no big deal. Even Twitch says, okay, you are responsible for what happens on your stream. If I have chat up on stream and somebody in the chat drops a racial slur or something against Twitch TOS, if I ban them, awesome. Twitch says, okay, I see somebody posted this in your stream, right in your chat. It was on your stream, but you took action against it. We're good. Okay. We understand bad actors, spammers, all that stuff. Congratulations. You've dealt with it. We're not going to worry about it. But if somebody were to do that and I take no action, or I can't, or they can't tell that I take action against it, they can suspend my channel, right? They can do all sorts of stuff, right? I can't do that. Cool. So this is the headspace I'm in. So this guy, comes in, can I join the server? I tell him no. Explain why. He then starts gaslighting me. Right? He says, oh, well, I didn't ask to join. I said, well, you asked. What does it take to join your, or what do I need to do to join your server? I said, well, you just asked to join my server. And guy what goes off about how he was an English teacher and all this stuff. Okay. And I have to admit, I said a couple of unkind things. Now, I immediately apologized, but it wasn't good. It was not good behavior on my part. Okay. It just absolutely wasn't. I expect more of myself than that. And yeah, it killed that whole stream for me. It probably killed it for a lot of people, but I was having fun. Okay, I was getting into some design. I was going to be doing some redstone, and redstone on stream is always a little bit interesting, sometimes frustrating, but whatever. But this incident hit, and the level of frustration and straight up some disappointment in myself, plus the little bit of added frustration of dealing with the redstone. Yeah, that stream it just wasn't fun at that point. Okay, I'm continuing the stream because I'm already streaming, and this is what I'm doing. Seriously, if I thought about it, and that's often the problem with just in people in general, that you don't think. If I thought about it, I might have been better off just to end stream. But I didn't end stream. And so for the next hour and a half or 2 hours, I'm sitting there just internally fuming and frustrated. And I don't know how much of that came across in the video, in the stream, but it was not good. And so all of this stuff combines. I'm looking at the chat bots, especially those graphics designer ones, who said they chat like they're a real person, and then they drop the ad on you. And this guy, even though he wasn't that sort of spammer, but it was the same feeling for me. It's the, hey, this is cool, chat, whatever. Now let me drop a demand on you. And again, in violation of my channel rules, but still, right? And yeah, that frustration boiled over, and I took it out on that person. Now, I wasn't raging, because I don't typically, right? I wasn't dropping profanities and stuff, right? I was just unkind, and that's not the sort of community I want to foster. And yeah, it's not the fact that I have a small channel, right, or a small audience that's frustrating, because it's just the reality, and I can accept that. Listen, I say I can accept that. I can accept that I'm not huge, right, and I probably never will be. That's fine. If I can accepting that I'm going to say no viewers, and that's not true, but accepting that I have only a couple of viewers at any one time, and that's all I'll ever have, I don't accept that, because I do want some growth. But yeah, I mean, if I just don't expect to be giant. I expect to be slightly less tiny than I am now, is what I expect. Right? I am the longest end of the long tail right now, right? But that frustration with the bots is like, it's using my excitement for having people in chat against me, and that is hurting. It really is. And so, yeah, and I let it get to me, and I shouldn't have. It's spammer's gonna spam, but it's that build up to, hey, we're doing something cool here. Let's be cool, and with this chat and community and all this. And by the way, I'm just here to sell you something. No, that hurts. Okay, I've had people drop into my stream and attack me because of my age or my weight, or just because I'm playing Minecraft, but none of that. I can just laugh those people off. This type of thing, it's frustrating. And yeah, I really do need to actually go look and just build a couple of filters in, so when somebody drops the spam in of the oh hi, I'm a graphics designer. Yeah, I just add that to the filter and it goes away. But honestly, the fact that I haven't done that is surprising to me, I suppose. I'm surprising myself. It's I'm selectively lazy, as it turns out, and that's just one of those things. It bugs the heck out of me. I should do something about it, and I just haven't. Right? It's easy to go in and block the wall of text. Hey, we can help you, use bots to get views, right? And somebody once said, I think, and joking, or maybe it was in a movie, right? If you're not cheating, you're not winning. Well, I'm not cheating. But obviously I'm not getting the views and stuff that, just at all. So, who knows? That's not my thing. But anyway, I can block those easily enough. So it's like, all right, I need to drop into my spam filters and say, all right, you've used the words graphics and designer. You're out, right? So I don't know. It's just, but all of it, it's just that frustration hit and said it boiled over. And I've been looking at that hard over the last few days and trying to say, okay, I need to recenter and get past this because it's not healthy for me. And I love streaming too much to want to stop, and I don't want to get driven off of streaming because of these idiot spammers, right? So, yeah, the frustration is real. And the reality is it's not because of the the reality is it's not because of the size of the community. The reality is the size of the community in some ways magnifies these spammers when they show up, right? If I had 1,400 people in chat, not necessarily all of them are chatting, but one of those types, where I'm sort of at the level of Impulse SV, for example. Great, they're chatters, and if one of those types of Twitch designer types shows up in chat, they get lost in the noise. A mod finds it and deletes it. Okay, it's just that's less of a deal. But because the audience I have is so small, they get magnified, and it's using my own goodwill against me, and it's been frustrating. So that's where it is. I wanted to be open about this. Okay, I talk a lot about movies and I talk a lot about books and all this stuff because they're fun. But I want to be open with my audience here that this goes on and it sucks. And my behavior was public, right? It turns out I'm the stream. That's why people come to my channel versus somebody else's, is to watch my performance. Because streaming is a performance. And it just, and I needed to get that out. So yes, for all of you who've been dealing with my sort of frustration on stream, and it's been going for a couple of weeks, and I'm sorry that I've not been as much fun, at least for myself, as I have been or as I could be. And I don't expect every stream to be perfect because as much as the stream is an improv show, it's still just me playing the game, right? I'm not playing a character. I'm not hiding behind a bad wig and a giant mustache. Okay, I'm not. Okay, even after I've grown my own, I'm not right. I'm not hiding behind that as a character. It is me playing. So I want to, and I want the streams to be fun and welcoming to everybody. And when I'm the reason that they're not, I'm not happy about that. So I'm going to work on that. I'm going to work on that. And I hope that there's some understanding for what's going on. And hopefully between you, me, and anybody else who shows up in chat, we can make that experience better. So until next time, do what I have failed to do sometimes over the last few weeks. Be excellent to each other. And this is Music Free Static signing off.